Asuka, the energetic and strong mother. Yamato, the younger brother who's always in his own little world. Follow us as we karate kick all your daily frustrations away. Asuka's Revenge.
My name is Asuka. I'm in my mid-20s, but the department I joined straight out of university was due to be downsized, and I was forced to resign. At any rate, it seemed like I would be able to get unemployment insurance soon, but when I registered with a temp agency, I think there is a company that can introduce you right away. Why don't you come in for an interview if you'd like? I got a call like that, and when I went there, things moved along quickly, and I was assigned to a certain regional bank through a planned introduction temp arrangement. I'm a little worried because this is my first time being dispatched. The skills test you took the other day was much higher than average, so you'll be fine as an immediate asset. Really? Then I'll do my best. Please. And so, the day of my first day at work came. Nice to meet you. I'm Asuka. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
For the time being, you will be receiving work instructions directly from the section chief. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask anyone. Okay, thank you. If there are no problems, it seems that after 3 months, I will be switched to a permanent employee. I was nervous because it was my first time working as a temp, but the atmosphere in the office seemed good, so I was relieved. And then the work finally started.
Well, I'd like to check your skills roughly, so can you make this for me?
And so he handed me a few sheets of A4 paper with the minutes of the meeting written on them by hand. Okay, the software is this. Is this font okay?
Yeah, that's right.
The basic rule is to align the text to the left and the date to the right. It seems like the agenda has changed from here, so should we make the subtitles bold, or would italics be better?
I think so. So, let's do it like this.
After asking questions and getting answers, all that's left is to type the text, so it was completed in less than half an hour. Thank you for waiting. The minutes are ready. Please check them. When I asked if I could send it as a PDF, he said he wanted me to print it out, so I printed out the document as he asked and took it to his desk, but...
What? It's done already?
What? Oh, yes. The section chief was surprised and started to check the documents, but soon frowned.
Can you put the graph in here? This is the one we were talking about.
Oh, I see. I understand. Well, you should have told me. If I said I didn't think that, I'd be lying. But it was my first day at work and I was meeting my boss for the first time, so I warned myself not to be too hasty with my impressions. I made the graph as I was told, inserted it into the page, and printed it out again to take to the section chief. How about this?
It's not quite right.
What? I thought I made it exactly as you instructed with the font, margins, etc. But what was the difference? Of course I checked for typos, as I'm wondering what might be wrong.
I don't know how to say this, but there's a cold air coming from these minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Huh? What? Is this a joke? A joke that only guys in the office will get? Is this the part where I'm supposed to laugh? The cold air from the minutes that the section chief mentioned was so incomprehensible, but it was such a powerful word that I was left speechless, and the next moment I was about to burst out laughing. I noticed that no one in the office was laughing, and I tried to hold back my laughter, but...
It's not bad. But I think I'll take a look at the old minutes again.
Oh, I just checked with Kawasaki. I thought I had arranged them almost the same way, but if there are any corrections, please let me know.
I guess so. Well, never mind. Then put the PDF in the file for the minutes on the shared server.
Okay. I thought it was a folder, not a file, but I didn't want to bother asking the section chief, so I asked a senior colleague who happened to be passing by, and they had a minutes folder ready, so I stored it there and finished for now. I spent almost the whole morning just transcribing a few thousand words of minutes. Is this okay? I was feeling uneasy about this, but just after 11 o'clock, the section chief...
Oh, I have something to do, so I'm going to leave early for lunch today. Asuka-san, you can go for lunch too when you're finished with your chores.
What? He quickly put a going out magnet on the whiteboard and left. The return time was left blank though. Asuka-san, if you're free, can you help me with this binding? Oh, yes. Thanks. Oh, if you like, why don't we go to lunch together? The location of the staff canteen is a bit hard to find. Wow, that's great. I'd be delighted. I was invited to lunch, so I happily finished my work and went out to lunch at 12 o'clock. But that afternoon too...
Asuka-san, I'd like you to fix this data next time.
Okay. The section chief finally returned around 1:30 p.m., and although I was finally given some work, I finished it. Please check it.
What? Already? It's a bit inorganic. A little more warmth. Well, it's probably difficult because I just came today, but...
I know that this is not a joke, but if it's not a joke, then I have no idea what he's talking about, so it's not good for work. To be honest, I'm thinking to myself, isn't he stupid? But I try not to show it on the surface, and it takes me an hour or two to organize the documents and data that would normally take 5 to 10 minutes. No, I may just spend that time. Is this good enough?
I guess it's passable. Oh, look at the time. Well, I think you did pretty well for your first day. From tomorrow, try to shorten the time for each task a little more.
Yes, I'll do my best. Is it true that the power of a punch increases if you hold a 10-yen coin in your hand when you punch? I saw something like that in a manga when I was in elementary school, but I've lived my life without checking the truth of it. I wanted to try it out here and check for myself, but I'm an adult, so I'll hold back. But the next day as well. Good morning. What should I do today?
Good morning. Well, then, I'll give you this today.
Yes. 10 minutes after being given a simple task. I'm done.
Already? You didn't cut corners or anything, did you?
What? I don't know where I can cut corners yet, so I did my best, but if there are any deficiencies, please let me know.
Well, that's not the point. Well, but what is it? The documents Asuka-san makes. There's something about the air of these that doesn't feel right.
Huh? The air? I want you to stop making me laugh in the morning, but I nod with a serious expression.
Well, you'll understand in time, though.
If I were to be officially hired here, after a few years, would I laugh at the me who has come to understand the air? No, I don't want to become that me. In the end, that day also ended up being like that, with me spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on a job that would only take 10 minutes, and the next day, and the day after that too.
I want a little more softness. Can you add a little more gentleness? Can't you make it a little more mellow?
I don't know. I can only say that you should take some aspirin. The days when a job that should only take 10 minutes end up taking a whole day. Is the section chief lacking warmth and kindness in his daily life? Is he trying to absorb some kind of power or kindness that he can't get at home or at work from documents and data? I have seriously thought that. I don't know about that. Well, he's not a pleasant person, is he? He probably just wants to pick on you because you're so good at your job. He's like that sometimes. It seems that the problem was the personality of the section chief himself, so I decided to just accept him as a poor old man who has a good sense of word choice but can only use it to be sarcastic. And then 3 months passed. One day, I received a call from the person in charge at the temp agency, and we arranged to meet for lunch to talk about renewing my contract. We met at a cafe near the office for the first time in a while. How are things at work? Thanks to you, I think I'm doing just fine in terms of work. I see. Your evaluation is very high at the regional bank too. So is it okay to proceed with the full-time employment talk? I'd like to think about it for a bit. What? I was happy to hear that I was highly rated at the client company, and I wanted to become a full-time employee as soon as possible, but to be honest, I don't want to become a full-time employee here. The reason I came to think that way, or rather the section chief's joke, no, it was me who was just trying to laugh it off as a joke and let it go, but in reality, it was just a false accusation, or rather a delusion, or rather a sleep talk. I don't think I could carry out my work properly if I had to keep dealing with that kind of thing at work. I told her about it in detail as far as I could remember what the section chief had said to me up until that point. The person in charge said, "I understand, I'll contact you again soon," and left, but a few days later... I'm sorry to have made you go through such a hard time. I found a good company elsewhere, so let's move there right away. I got a call and was told that. What? Is that possible? I've never been a temp worker before, but in a situation like this, don't you usually get fired? I was wondering why, so I asked. Actually, the manager of the local bank branch where Asuka-san was assigned, it seems that he has been causing a bit of a problem within the company for some time now. Is that so? Yes, and with this latest incident? What a surprise! That section chief.
Well, you see, many of us are in jobs where we can't escape stress, right? Of course, that's also the case in our section. I guess you could say it's a way for everyone to vent their stress. But all the employees are talented people who graduated from famous universities, right? Now that there's compliance, it's difficult to look down on your colleagues, but that's also stressful, right? That's why we brought in temporary staff, thinking that if there was someone to look down on, everyone's stress would be reduced a little. But Asuka-san is more capable than we thought, so it's not fun at all.
It seems that she was casually saying things like that during the police interview. It seems that they decided to talk about it a little within the company. Anyway, Asuka-san was offered a position at a good company, so if you agree, we'll go there immediately. I see. And so I don't know if the section chief's words and actions were quite dangerous, but after being assigned to a major company at a 30% hourly increase, I was appointed as a full-time employee without incident. A few years later, I got married and started a family. I'm still working hard as a full-time employee at the major company, but one day...
Videos are scary, aren't they?
What? Did some stupid university student do something again?
No, it seems to be some kind of dangerous boss at a company. Look at this.
The article on the news site that was displayed on the phone that my husband had just handed me. It seems that the daily actions and words of a company boss were posted on a certain video site with mosaic-style censorship, and the video itself was also included, albeit in part.
I guess there are people like that in the office these days. I guess they're old men from the Showa era.
Yeah, I watched the video together and also searched on my phone, and according to that, the culprit of the video in question, the dangerous boss, he was someone who worked at a certain regional bank until a few years ago, and from the start he was completely useless. It seems that about a year ago his attitude suddenly became very arrogant, and then he became an executive. Looking closely, it might be someone I know. The original video has of course been deleted, and the person who recorded and posted it is probably no longer at that company now. And the voice of the annoying boss who is wriggling around in the video has been put through effects and is also pixelated.
From the documents, I can't feel any warmth.
What?
Oh, nothing. I was just wondering what he meant by the warmth of the documents.
The warmth of the documents? What's that? If you listen to what he's saying calmly, it's actually pretty funny.
Right? A phrase I heard at a company where I worked for a very short time a few years ago. I don't think it's the same person, but I don't want to think that there are so many people who would say the same thing. While thinking that, I was glad that I was able to marry someone who could laugh at the same things as me.
Thank you for watching all the way till the end. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. See you next time!